Attention. We now have control of your streaming device.
We just had a little technical difficulty there with the intro there.
The fuck happened?
What happened?
I don't know. I'm as shocked as you are. In any case, what is going on, everybody out there in podcast land?
Yo, yo.
Hello, my darling.
I'm sorry
How
you didn't get
very abrupt.
your intro song. Yeah, well, sorry about that.
was that?
Yep. I don't know. Honestly, it just kind of had a hiccup, and I was not gonna wait for it.
Okay.
So we are live, motherfuckers. Sometimes,
What a way to
sometimes
start the night.
Yeah, sometimes you don't get to choose when you come in. It chooses you.
That's so weird.
But yeah, we'll just roll with it. What are you lighting up there, Mr. Monster?
It's Grego.
Hell yeah. Prayer Tower crossed with GG4 from Mass Medical.
How do you remember these things?
You know what? Honestly, I don't know. I just kind of have a knack for, like, remembering lineage. If I see
Just
it
like
anywhere...
Lineage Rain Man? Jeez.
Yeah,
like,
for real. Like, actually, there's 486 matches. It's 7 o'clock, time for Jeopardy. I just watched that. Great movie, by the way.
It is a good flick.
But yeah, no, I if I see it anywhere at any point, like if I read lineage, it's like in my head. I know it. And plus, I've heard Monster say it like 80
Yeah.
times.
In fairness, he did ask me last time.
I've heard it exactly the same amount of times that you have, and there's you would have asked me that. I couldn't have answered to save my life.
Yeah.
Well, there is way too much like disk space being used up in my brain, like RAM and computer terms, I guess, of lineages and like, yeah, autoflower family trees and all that stuff. It's just
Jesus.
totally useless info, but
Snuff film directors.
yeah, exactly. So
Let's go out of order. What about you, Cap?
yeah, let's
What
do
you
it,
smoking
man.
on?
I'm about to grind up some local skunk. My autoflowers are curing, so I'm letting them cure. And in the meantime, I only have a little bit left of this. One of the most flavorful strain, smell and flavor-wise. Like this is a winner. I shall be growing it again. And here's like a nice top bud for you. And get a sense of like the wacky bud structure on her.
I like those crazy foxtails. I mean, they're not even foxtails.
No, this was just how
They're
she
just,
grew.
like,
Yeah,
protrusions.
yeah, a little lumpy, but like, man, super nasty terps. I love her. A little bit on the drier end because, you know, there's not much left in a bigger jar, and she's kind of like, she's over cured, I guess. But sometimes that's when you get your best joints. Less moisture content. You're smoking more weed per hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like my personal smoke. A little bit on the drier side than most.
Yeah, you know what, man? I am finding. What would you say, like, if you put a hygrometer in your jar? What's your perfect, like, ideal? I'm pulling a nug out right now to smoke it. What do you like to see?
Depends
So
on
what
what you're smoking.
I usually like to do is I'll take it out ahead of time, knowing that, you know, when I want to smoke it. Now, this does you no good on a humid, like, rainy day. It's just going to rehydrate.
Yeah, it's true.
Just want to clear that up. But if I had it my way, like 48-50% probably.
Yeah, man. You know, I am in favor of my cannabis being more on the 50% humidity range than 60. I don't know where 62% came from.
That was just a number they chose from cigars, honestly. And I don't even know
It's
where
just
they
the
chose it.
Boveda bag just made
Yeah.
that happen. That's a meme number.
0.03 or 0.3 or whatever it is.
I'm willing to believe it,
Some
man.
random
No,
number.
62% is too wet.
It's a little high for
far
my
too
liking.
wet,
It's
man.
a little wet.
Yeah.
Yeah. For anything. If I'm smoking out of a bong, I prefer it to be a little more wet. For smoking out of smoking
Okay.
a J, I want it
Could
to be a
you
little drier.
could you change
Booker, this is
the
not the
usage
friendly
of the
place.
word wet to moist,
Too
please?
moist. All right.
Moist.
Definitely too moist for my liking. That's usually not a problem for me, but usually the moister the better, baby. But yeah, no, when I'm pulling out a nug, 62 is way too high. Like, give me something in the 55 to 52 range.
I want to be able to just crumble it right into my bowl.
Oh no,
Without-
that's too dry. I
No,
don't
like
want
if,
it,
no, it's not going to
desiccated.
crumble like dust, but you should be able to just break it up and like put it right into the bowl. That's how I like it. I like it a little drier. Like I said, I've had people comment that they think that my stuff's too dry, like when I smoke it. That's why
Really?
I like it. Yeah, I
To
I
each
like
their
it.
own.
I like it a
Now,
little on the dry side.
I do think that,
You don't want to store it that way though. I usually store it in the grow bags, and then when I'm like I came home tonight, I took a couple nugs out, I threw them on the tray, and they've been sitting here chilling, and they're perfect.
A little bit of room cure right before you
Yeah.
smoke them.
Yeah,
it goes a long way sometimes.
it does.
Now, I do think that there is like a difference between coming to that 50% ish humidity range at like a very slow pace. You
Yeah.
don't get there immediately. It's like, yeah, you put your weed in the jar when it's at 60, and if it brings it down to 50 over the course of a few weeks, you're not losing any terps. You're not losing like any flavor, at least in my experience.
No,
All
I
you're
think
losing
you get
is
more
moisture
flavor.
content. Yeah,
I think
yeah.
as long as it's not too dry and over, if you look, if I leave it out overnight and come back to it, chances are it's not going to be the same. Most cases it will if it's pretty fresh. But like if you leave it out too long and it over dries, it's just going to be meh and it's going to burn like fucking match powder. You know, like you put it in the bowl and you take a hit and you like it just gets like a hole sucked through and you can't even get a decent hit and it's all like gone to the sides. You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
I
about?
do. I do.
Like you try to roll a joint, it just fucking boats down the river because it's like smoking sand.
Boat down the river. I like
Yeah.
that.
So yeah, there is a fine line. There is a fine line. When I was younger, I used to throw it on top of the cable box for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, come back to it. Oh, Cap
That's
has hit that
smart.
cough button.
I did. I did. Little on the dry side. Irritated my throat just a touch.
So the moist ones don't irritate your throat?
Not as much.
Okay.
Like G3 said, excuse me, I think for bong hits, I got
Yeah.
one more in me. Give me a second.
Get your shit together, dude.
For bong hits, you need it a little bit higher than 50, for sure.
Yeah.
But in any case, there is a range between that 60 and 50%. Different strokes for different folks, I assume.
Yeah.
So it's not always about that 62%, like give me something I can
Storage at 62.
work with right now.
Or starting storage at 62.
I'd say even 58's fine.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Do
obviously
you think there's a difference if it cures at 58 versus
Isn't that
62? Probably not.
Isn't that the
Not
low
really.
end of the Grove bag humidity
Yeah.
range?
Yeah.
It says
That's
like
what they say. 58
58 to
62
62.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, right here.
And please, if you guys are using Boveda packs or Boost or Integra, or I've seen a bunch of them, just please switch to a grow bag. Do it for the terps. If you don't going to do it for yourself, do it for the terps.
I think
Okay.
Bovedas and boosts and stuff like that can be a great thing to help save bud that's already too dry, but it
No, I'm
shouldn't
gonna.
be a storage
You know I
mechanism.
love you, G3, but I'm gonna push back against that one.
Yeah, tell me why.
Well, it's first of all, if your bud over dries and you reintroduce moisture to it, all you're doing is reintroducing moisture. It's
Hmm.
not gonna have the cure will never come back. You can never restart that process once you've over dried. And if you really need to rehydrate, grab a fresh cannabis leaf or even a fucking wet paper towel in the bag for a little while will do as opposed to those Boveda packs. I in my experience, every time I've smoked herb like that, like somebody's come over or I'm at a party or whatever, and the weed comes out of there, I'm telling you, it just I can taste it. It just
I
doesn't sit
absolutely
there.
agree if it's stored with it long term. I think for short term rectification situations where it's in there for like a day or less, then it has a use. But if you're just leaving it in with your bud, it's just gonna steal your terps. I
Well,
definitely
I
agree with
think
that.
99% of people use them. They use them as a crutch for curing
Yes, I
in
agree.
their jars, and it's like no,
I agree.
just don't do that. Like if you're having a hard time maintaining proper humidity inside of a jar, and even if you're not, I'm like I've said it before, I fucking love the grow bags. They've been a game changer for me. You don't have to worry about burp and shit, as long as you don't overstuff the bags and you don't try to reuse it 100 times. They work great. I
Hmm.
haven't had any issues with them.
You know what I've had success with rehydrating some over dry stuff before too is just a piece of white bread,
Hmm. I've used
little
orange peel
corner.
as long as it's a tangy strain.
If it's already an orange tasting strain for
Right.
sure.
Don't use an orange peel with like
I'd
something that has
I'd be
nothing to
worried
Or
do
about
with
the bread
citrus.
with all the yeast and fucking
I'd be worried about molding.
yeah,
yeah,
a fan leaf's probably your best bet.
definitely
This
family.
was before before I was growing.
You
Like
know
I
what we used to
didn't have
do back
fan
in the
leaves
day to
around.
the
Yeah.
Mexican brickweed? We get those fucking compressed bricks. We'd steam them, fluff them right up.
Really?
Yep. You take a fucking pan with boiling water and a
Hey,
nice
tell me
metal
more.
colander,
Uh
and
huh.
you break up chunks of the brick and you throw it in the column, the metal colander with steam, and then you put like a makeshift lid on top of it,
Isn't
just like
that
another.
temperature too high? You decarbon your weed that
It's
way or what?
fucking brickweed.
I
Just
know, but
you
still. I
know,
was
dump.
just talking like if you were to do that today, if you were to steam your weed, does that get hot enough to decarb it?
Not.
I
I
don't
think if
know.
you
I wouldn't think
you'd have to
so.
do it for a long time. I'm sure if
Oh
you did it
wow.
long enough, absolutely. Yeah.
Perhaps.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, steaming your brickweed, man. That like that's a thing kids of today are gonna be like, well, what the hell is he talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah. And we used to have
What
seeds
the
in it.
hell? Yeah, then you had to take out your seeds and stems. Holy
Yeah.
shit, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
If you
here I
didn't do a
want
good enough job, you got a face full of it.
I'm gonna bring up a picture we all might find far too familiar for just a second here.
Oh goodness.
All right, there we go. Look at that beautiful nug.
Yep. That's pretty much how it all looked.
Remember when that was what we were smoking on?
Yep. And that doesn't even look too bad. It has a little bit of green in it.
I see some
I've
orange hairs. Yeah,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
I mean, I've smoked far worse, man.
Oh yeah.
I can smell that. I can
Yeah.
smell that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
That
like,
slightly musty odor. You know, it's definitely got a little
Mm.
bit of mold in there.
oh,
Mm.
I can like just see the crackle of the bowl as like one of those seeds ignites.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Get
how,
it.
And
you
like,
could like lift the layers off of each other.
yeah, that's exactly right. They don't actually burn all the way. You just have to like kind of like yeah, sift like poke through the bowl to get like different parts of it actually lit.
Oh man.
I can feel my jaw locking up as I crumple up the tinfoil bowl
Oh.
after I use it.
And now we
Those were
have,
good times.
online menus and dispensaries and home grown.
Oh,
Everyone
dude.
has access to like gorgeous,
Listen,
amazing bud compared to what we
I've
used to smoke. Jesus, look at that.
like I know if the nostalgia's coming back to you,
Ah,
you
it's
know you're
hard.
old if that brings back like a little bit of nostalgia for you. But like, thank God we don't have to smoke that stuff anymore. And I guess, here, let's get that awful picture off the screen here. Yeah, Jake says the same thing. Can we get that off the screen? Yes, we can, sir.
Yes, we can, Mr. Shocker.
I will not. Yeah, Jake with the logo. So I will not remind you of those days, especially not tonight, when just 6 hours ago, honestly, a pretty significant ruling came
Yes.
down.
Huge.
I would say, all things considered,
The next big step.
which is that cannabis will now be a Schedule 3 drug according to the DEA, right? Or FDA.
Yep, to the DEA.
Federally, it will be
Federal
a
government
Schedule
says that
3
it is
substance.
not quite as dangerous and has less chance for abuse, which opens up the possibilities for a lot of studies, a lot of possibilities, but opens up the possibilities for some not great stuff either.
Absolutely. We can kind of maybe we can make like a pros and cons list as we discuss it.
I don't know, man. Like, does nothing for me. Like,
No,
nope. I think at the end of the day, it's only gonna fucking hurt us in the end.
As soon as Big Pharma gets their hands
We,
on it,
Oh,
we
which
yeah.
they will.
we need descheduling, not rescheduling.
I
And
Yes.
and
100% agree.
it's all it's going to do is open the door for other corporate motherfuckers to make money. Look, there's a reason why they'll never deschedule it. It's because there are drugs out there
I know.
that contain cannabis that the drug companies sell. So if they deschedule it
Correct.
as a drug, they'll never be able to sell those drugs. So, and if you don't think that the fucking drug companies have a major control on everything you do in this country, you're fucking sadly mistaken. Just you can't even watch a TV show without 100 million pharmaceutical ads. With rare, in cases may cause
May
death.
cause sudden death.
So now
Ask your doctor if this is right for you. It's like,
I
shouldn't
just
my fucking doctor tell me if the drug's right for me? Like, he would know better, right? Like,
look. I think that it can, like the G3 said in the beginning, this can open the door for more testing and more research done with cannabis and see. But for the people, the demographic watching this show, and for the people to listen to us and the home growers, it does nothing for you.
Yeah.
If anything, it can only
In
hurt.
fact,
And,
it's terrifying
Well,
for home grow. Yeah.
okay, so why do you say that?
well,
So
go ahead, G3.
no, good. Good.
Look, if they had it their way, they would strip us all of any type of grower rights that we have at all. Look. All right. I haven't looked it up, but what other drugs are in the Schedule 3 class? If you could bring that up for me.
Let's see. So I know just off the top of my head, like a commonly cited Schedule 3 drug is like Tylenol with codeine.
Okay.
It has medical use. It's prescribed as a medicine from doctors. It's FDA regulated. However, it does require like a prescription and like a legitimate medical case for its being prescribed. Yeah, like so. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot more. So testosterone is another one.
Yeah. Anabolic steroids,
yeah.
ketamine.
So like for right off the bat, like you mentioned, one of the big benefits is that we will get research. From by whom remains to be seen. Like, whoever pays for the research usually gets the research done, and the results tend to be in their favor. It's funny how that works across all fields, not just ours. but like, yeah, research ultimately will be good. We will get lots of studies on cannabinoids and ones that we don't even know shit about yet.
Mhm.
That's exciting to me. Like we'll advance.
Before I forget, this viewer here brought up a really good point. You're not allowed to grow your own codeine. You think they're going to crack down on growing? I don't know if they'll touch legal states. I don't think they will either. But I think that what this does do is it possibly puts a fucking stomp on any states that don't have any legal home grower rights, because it's going to be more accessible now to the big fucks like Philip Morris and things like that. They'll be able to mass produce this shit. You'll be able to just, oh, like you can go to fucking CVS, right, and buy your fucking Tylenol or Benadryl or whatever. Like, if I think that they had it their way, you do the same thing. Like you go to the pharmacist and buy your over the counter fucking joints, and your state
Well,
says fuck you on home
That's what a
grow.
dispensary
I,
is.
I, so from my understanding, dispensaries aren't going to like be affected by this. The law is mostly for, like you said, big pharma.
Hmm.
And what this will enable them to do is create more drugs like Marinol, which is one of those like FDA approved. It contains THC. I think is it's literally like an extract. I think
Hmm.
so. It's like I don't know. I would even how is just a THC extract even like
It's not even
beginning?
synthetic
It's not
THC.
even. I would even consider that medicinal. You know what I mean?
And yeah, no, it's useless. I don't know if you ever even tried Marinol. That you don't feel much at all.
So yeah, we got someone in the chat says it's a non-psychoactive form of THC. This is the type of stuff that like there's gonna be a lot more of. I do think this opens up like the FDA for like controlling the edibles market, which has you've seen spiraled out of control. I mean, they're selling THCA and Delta 9 gummies at every single gas station in America now. A lot of which actually are the real deal. Like, if you understand the Farm Bill from 2018, as we've kind of like learned how that thing works, it's all been THCA all along, guys.
Yeah. There's a
Like,
lot of people getting around it with the 0.3% just based on the size of the edible. Like you could have
yeah,
100 milligrams in a fucking edible the size of a whatever, a fucking huge candy bar, and it's legal because it whatever it doesn't have. It's based on weight.
yeah.
Fucking-
So it's just yeah, the 0.03 or
yeah,
0.3% is pretty
yeah.
easy to attain. But so yeah, it's like I think they kind of had to do this. What first right off the bat too, I would have loved to have seen a side note accompanying this memo that like, by the way, we're pardoning all cannabis criminals that are currently in prison.
Right. Can you
Federal,
believe it?
state level, like whatever your crime was, whatever amount you got caught with, you're free. You're free to go. Now that fucking Philip Morris is going to be investing billions into like Marlboro Greens or whatever is coming your way, like it man, it would have been nice, it would have been real nice.
Honestly, I'm more indifferent to it than anything else. Like,
I think I don't know. We'll have to see what they do with it. It could be
Yeah, it could be good.
things
So
could be totally fine and it could go well, or it could be a huge power and control grab.
another perk is that from what I understand, there is a tax burden on cannabis businesses called like the 280E. Is it a 280E situation where like they can't deduct normal business expenses from their taxes. So like they can do that now. It opens up like some banking. But it doesn't open up interstate commerce. It doesn't like fix most of the problems that exist.
Right.
It is a step in the
Yes,
right
it's a step.
direction. It's like that's all we can say it is. Like I think it legitimizes cannabis once and for all as like this is medicine.
yeah, that's
I
one thing
think
I had in the back of my mind. I think it's gonna more so help to normalize it and streamline it a little bit more. Um, but
we all
I don't
have
know.
our,
Yeah.
a lot of people are very doomsday scenario, like, oh, it's this whole like. I really don't think it's going to affect much more than like it's going to open up different avenues for the plant to be consumed by people ultimately. And like, yeah, it's going to suck that a lot of that's going to be through big business and like, huge growers without like much care for the plant. Guys, like, does it change what we tent pirates are doing? Does it change how I view, my like? If anything, it makes me feel more comfortable doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. There's pros and cons.
Depends on what direction it goes in, you know?
Overgrow the government either way. That's the goal. Overgrow Philip Morris now is the goal too.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I can't wait to see the. Who knows how it'll shake out, guys? I really, I could speculate, but honestly, I'm kind of encouraged. Not gonna lie. Is this gonna get me to vote straight Dem? I don't know. Probably not.
They're all liars and things.
Probably not. It's all politic, It's election year. It's gonna be a lot more empty gestures and. But yeah, let's talk grow, guys.
Well, hold on. We forgot one fucking thing.
Okay.
G3, what are you smoking on?
Oh, it's Mango Smile.
Mango Smile. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Carry on.
All right. Yeah. Same old.
Well,
I'm just fucking with you.
tell you what. You know what? It could be someone's very first show out there. G3, can you give us just a quick rundown? Why do you love Mango Smile? Why is it your go-to?
She's my perfect medicine. She is first of all, she's delicious. She has a very specific flavor and aroma to her, very like rotting mangoes on a sunny day. She's beautiful. She's beautiful to grow. She's always been a joy to grow, so I love her every time from the get-go. She gets big and beautiful and she turns great colors. She tastes amazing. She gets me super upbeat and focused and kind of chatty without making me anxious or racy. So I just love her.
Hell yeah.
She's the best.
She's a staple, guys. If you haven't grown, if you're an auto grower and you haven't grown Mango Smile, like,
what are you doing with your life?
What the fuck are you even doing already? Like, go to the Mephisto website. It's always on sale now. It's like, back in our day, we had to like wait in line for it at noon on a Monday or deal with shutting down servers. And oh man, just go buy you some, man. Get a 3-pack, pop all 3, and you will not be disappointed.
I
Promise.
have recommended her to many, many, many people, and many people have grown her, and I don't know that I've heard a single complaint. Not one.
Oh. She is, I would say her and Sour Stomper are my two, like, I recommend those two all the time to people if they're looking for Mephisto recommendations.
Those are both big plants when I grow them. Especially the mangoes.
Especially that
mangoes
mango.
can get real big, so especially if you get one of those supermodels who knows.
It can be a 7-footer in the right conditions.
Yep.
Watch out. Someone's asking me, we got Jake says, what you drinking, Captain? This is a nice hazy IPA. It was canned like 2 days ago. Super fresh and like experimental hops.
Experimental hops?
Yeah, they do like...
Or do they like Frankensteining hops?
If he starts switching, we know why.
Essentially, that's how it works with hops. They hybridize different varieties the same way like breeders would make F1s of like the new hype strains and slam them together, and then you're like, yo, this hop should be dank, That's kind of the theory, and then they like at the end of the season they kind of bring them out and they make a bunch of beer with them. This one's not even named yet. It just has.
You should call it pollen chucking.
I mean, essentially, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But in the hop world, I don't know. It's more like, I guess it's,
I mean, they're the same family. It's a lot harder to
yeah,
breed hops than it is to breed cannabis.
no, super easy, super easy. And hop vines grow like, you can grow massive plants,
Yeah, they're
massive.
climbers, right?
Oh yeah, you got to trellis them up and really cool. But yeah, it's kind of like, I always talk about craft beer as like the parallel to craft cannabis, and that holds true in that realm too. I mean, there's people making like hype hops. It's crazy. Yeah, hype
Hype
hops.
hops.
Man, you tried those
Absolutely.
cookies hops? Really
Yeah,
good.
right. Someone's got to come out with the cookies strain hops. That'd be funny as shit.
And sad at the same time.
It's like, man, if it's like we're ragging on cookies, guys. It's like that's one of the things. Wait till like big money gets involved with the cannabis scene. Like you ain't seen nothing yet. You think cookies
Yikes.
is a bully in the market? Wait till Amazon's selling THCA cannabis straight up to your door.
Yeah,
How's that gonna
Bezos,
Oh
work?
my
Bezos
gosh.
booth.
That's totally not far away either. I can
No, it's
absolutely
not at
see that
all.
happening.
It's not at all. I mean, now that we know THCA is effectively legal, I mean,
Till they close
dude,
that loophole.
dude, wait till no. It's like all the walls have crashed down. I think, and they're just trying to like. I think this is a reactive move to the market forces. Like, I mean, they're trying to keep control in big businesses' hands. I don't know if it's currently worked out that way. So we'll see, man. We'll see. There's a lot of reasons for optimism, but like I see why people are pessimistic. It's like
Well, it's just I can understand why people are cautious because big changes like this, we don't know what it actually means. You can
for
say,
sure.
"Oh, it's going to be rescheduled. It's going to be descheduled. It's going like it's." We don't know what the ramifications of that actually is from a real life perspective.
Right
So
before the
it's a
election,
little
too.
Yeah,
terrifying, right?
yeah. No one.
Devil you
We
know
can
versus
only.
the devil you don't.
The great unknown is scary sometimes. Someone mentions in the chat. I agree. L. Quisp. Is that how I want to say that? L. Quisp. He says preserve those seeds, and man, couldn't agree more.
Yes.
You know, I was just watching a documentary the other day about like how in agriculture, big farms out in Iowa, like they buy their soybeans from Monsanto or whoever they get them from, and they're licensed. Those genetics are patented, my friend. You must pay for the privilege to plant those seeds, and then like they're sterile, I guess, so they don't produce more seed, and you have to rebuy them next year, and like it's like man, it's crazy. If
It's terrible.
they'll come into your they send out auditors to like come check your plants and see like if you're growing unlicensed or if you have more than what you bought or anything like that, man. It's totally wild. So genetic
Oh my god.
preservation is paramount, whether, who knows what will become of that legally speaking. If the genetics start being patented, that's a whole different fucking ball game.
They
So
start
just
coming to your door, burning your seeds,
dude,
door to door.
can you even imagine? Shoot your dog like, where are the seeds? We heard you have a
God.
seed stash.
Yeah.
Fuck,
All right,
man.
so
Nope.
it is
Let's
your
get back to the garden.
responsibility to
Yeah.
help preserve the genetics for the future.
Listen, it's just do the right thing one way or the other. That's my advice to you. We know what the right thing is. We all know what the right thing is. So yeah, guys, how is the gardens going? Are you encountering any issues you want to talk about? Any
I did something
anomalies?
that I normally wouldn't do. I direct sowed some autoflower seeds in the ground in my backyard when it's definitely
Oh
not
Wow.
warm.
yeah.
It's definitely not going to be warm enough. But I just kind of wanted to see what would happen.
Well, with this heat wave, it just might be.
Well, we didn't get quite like it hit like upper 60s, maybe 70 here today, but it didn't get quite as warm as it did up. You were saying like what 90 degrees the other
Yeah,
day?
it was like 88 or something
Wow.
by me.
Yeah.
It was very warm. Amazing. Loved it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
haven't got that yet because we're still getting cooled down by the ocean a little bit, but I imagine that weather's not too far, behind us. I told you I plan on doing a big like veggie garden this year outside, so I got all my seeds planted, started, ready to go. My kid threw a stalk of celery in a cup, and it started shooting off leaves. So we're gonna plant that too. See what happens. So,
That's so fun. I
yeah,
remember doing that with like potatoes and stuff.
yeah. Like I've seen it done with potatoes and other shit, but when he asked me if it would work, I said I don't know. If I can try it, fuck around and find out. Basically, right? And it worked. So he's all excited about that. I think
Cool,
it's cool to
man.
get your kids involved in the gardening and shit like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot to learn, man. There's patience, one thing.
Dude, fresh grown fucking veggies, and you just can't beat it. Like
The
the shit you get at
basics
the
of
grocery store.
knowing how to
Not
tend and provide your own food is a skill that will never go amiss in anyone's life. Everyone should learn that.
For sure. And if you haven't already, like, use your love of growing cannabis as the gateway to growing your own
Yeah.
food as well.
Pick
that
Especially,
happens a
one
lot
vegetable.
actually. It's
Try
it,
it.
hell yeah.
it happens a lot. People start growing cannabis and they're like, oh, I want to try growing some veggies and let's see what happens.
Really. That's what it's the gateway drug to. Better
Yeah.
living and fresh vegetables. Taking better care of yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm getting my outdoor garden going. I'm gonna use one of those autopot spiders in like a bed. Should be cool. I'm gonna
They're
get the
neat.
autopot going outdoors because you know it's the far away bed. It's like it's not near the hose hookup, so it'll just be way easier. Plus, two beds are better than one, right?
Yeah.
Always.
Another thing I'm going to try doing, and I actually think it's more plausible than not, is I live pretty close to a lot of I'm surrounded by fresh water, right? And I'm going to try digging a well and see
Oh
what
yeah.
happens. Yeah, I bet you I won't. I don't have to go down too far. And if I could get free water from a well, it wouldn't be free because I'd have to pump it, probably hook up some sort of electric pump, but basically free water. That would be fucking cool shit.
For human consumption or plant consumption or both?
No, the most I would do with it for human consumption is I was thinking about like hooking it up to like the washing machine, um, and getting water that way, but mainly just for gardening.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could have it tested. You'd be surprised most of the time. If you get a good source of water, it's cleaner than you think. Especially around here, like I'm in the mountains. Like when you're driving down the highway and shit, and you can see water pouring off the sides.
Oh yeah.
You know,
That's the best water.
yeah, I
It's
think
Yeah.
so.
naturally filtered spring water.
Hmm.
They found that Poland
Yeah.
spring and patented it, and they've been making a mint ever since. That's
Did you
all
know
it
it's
is,
funny?
man.
My dad fucking. I mean, I like Poland spring water. It's good, but like my dad loves Poland spring water, and everything else is
It is
inferior
good.
to him.
I mean, it's not bad. It's pretty crisp. Bet the plants would like it. But yeah, we have can. What up, buddy? He says collect rainwater. That is a great practice to get into.
It is. I have to get gutters first. This house doesn't have gutters. But we are working on that.
That is important.
So I
Yeah.
have a slate roof, which is actually like preferable to the asphalt, like shingles.
Yeah.
If you're gonna collect rainwater, so like
100%.
there's a couple considerations, but hey, come if it's free, Comes
It
right
used to
from
be
nature.
illegal
Should
to
be good.
collect rainwater.
In
It
some
still
states,
is.
it still is.
Still
Is
is
it?
in
In
some
some places,
places.
Yeah.
it's still
Yep.
illegal to. That cannot possibly be a thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that ridiculous?
That cannot.
Absolutely.
Not anymore.
No,
You're not allowed
there's-
to catch water falling from the sky.
Yeah, and
Dude.
I'm pretty it's still illegal in lots of places, G3. You'd be shocked.
There was a guy who tried to solve his town's drought problem and created a pond in his property and pumped water to the town, and he got arrested. So like,
No shit.
it, we live in a fucked up society. Like sometimes we just have no common sense, you know. Like yes, the man technically broke a law, but he did it for good.
All right,
Like,
we
there's
have
no
a couple answers starting to make a little sense from the chat. That's what I love
Yeah,
about
it's definitely
live
state
show.
specific.
Jimmy Hat says it's illegal in Texas. Well, that
think so.
sucks, partner. That
Yeah.
sucks.
What
But-
if you make it with gun barrel? Is it legal?
But El Quisp chimes in and says that's because of mosquitoes. Standing water would be an issue. You know, like, I mean,
Well,
imagine if
usually when
people
you
are just...
collect rainwater, it's covered.
Not
And you
everyone...
should have some treatment facility.
I don't know.
But-
You gonna trust everyone to do that, G3, or just... I don't know.
I would hope that people do their best in all things.
I don't know. All bets are off in 2024. All bets are off.
Doesn't make any sense.
But yeah, guys, let's return to the cannabis garden. The sudden
People claiming to have-
the sudden influx of summer. I had to adjust a lot of things. Like suddenly, boom, had.
Oh
well,
yeah, did your tent
not a
freak
whole
out?
lot. Oh yeah, well, you know,
What were
when I
your
went up
numbers
there
at?
and I was above 90 in both of my tents.
That's horrible.
That's when I, you know, honestly, and that is my threshold, my like true danger zone. Like if I see 88 from time to time, I'm like, yeah, that's high, but it'll come down, you know. It's just
That's high.
just a warm day, you know, it'll come back. But no, like truth be told, if I don't have constant air conditioning in my attic all warm
You're
season,
also in the
I'm
attic.
fucked. Yeah, I'm fucked. It's so hot it gets, you know, just it will be 90 degrees in the room itself. Plus, if I don't condition it. So, yeah, I had to move a tent. I had to install a window AC unit. First, you know, had to clean out the filters, make sure it's not blowing dust or anything. Running as efficiently as possible for a couple-year-old unit. But I think it's what, like a Monster, you'd know if this makes sense. I believe it is an 8,000 BTU unit. It's average size, I'd say, for like a small room. It's not even the
Yeah.
big, you know, it's not
Most
huge.
most like bedrooms could be, you know, cooled off just fine with an 8,000 BTU. I should say, you know, a good majority of them.
Used to be the one I used in my bedroom. Exactly. Till we got a new one there. I moved that one up to the grow. And it does the job just fine. I mean, you know, you put it on like econ mode and it runs when it has to. I will literally leave it on all summer. I have to. So
What do you set the temperature to?
69.
So you get your
69.
room about 69
True.
degrees, and then
Well-
you're able to keep your tent, you know, in the
The room
Safe
itself, so like what I notice is that the temperature never quite reaches 69. But if I put it on that setting, the room itself should stay about 74, 75.
so
Low
the
70s.
so it can't. So in that case, that air conditioner is undersized.
I
If
would
it
say a
can't-
little bit, yeah, for
Yeah,
like
if
Does
it
it ever
can't
turn
get
off?
it, yeah,
it
Just runs.
it does turn off, but like not. It is probably a little bit undersized, I would say. Like once you add, like if you just go by square footage and like the Home Depot AC shopping guide, like it's all specced out. But once you add heat from 3 lights, from a dehumidifier, which runs sometimes and shoots out hot dehumidified air. Like, it's got to work a little bit overtime. So if I had to go back and do it again, I would at least get a 10,000, 12,000 BTU unit.
Hmm.
You definitely want to oversize what you have for your grow, but
Yep. And
we
you
use what we
actually would
have.
say you'd save a little bit of juice too because it wouldn't have to work as hard.
And I know you. I believe you me. I looked at mini splits. I would love to get one. I would love to. They have those like Mr. Cool DIY units now.
I'm pretty confident you could do it. Just
Yeah,
have
it
your
looked easy.
just you'd have to have your cousin or electrician come out and hook up a dedicated circuit for you for that air conditioner, and then you're good to go. That's really the hardest part because you're not good with electricity. The rest of it you could do.
And that does heat too, correct?
Most of them do.
Man. Yeah, talk about a like a not so expensive but like huge upgrade for a non central air conditioned home.
I think more people should consider them, especially the fact where they do heat as well. You know,
I'd have to get three heads for it though. You know, one for the attic, one for like the living room, and one for the
yeah.
bedroom.
I try to
That's gonna.
discourage people from getting the multi-zone units.
Oh, really?
Um, well, for a couple of reasons, and I mean the biggest one is if the outdoor unit fails, all three zones are out. You're fucked. You're done.
Hmm.
Um, Two, there's only like one or two models available, and they're super expensive. But you can't demand cooling and heat at the same time from one if you so need it to. I've had people that put those in grow facilities expecting to use one of them to cool for their dry room, and they were sadly mistaken that it couldn't do it.
Gotcha. So it would be like if in an ideal situation you'd get a outdoor unit for
Yeah,
each head
I'd
of it.
get
All right.
I'd get separate units for each zone.
Okay. All right. Word. That's probably the final frontier for me as
And
far as
actually,
like.
it's cheaper, believe it or not. You think you save money by buying those triple zone or double zone units? It's not the case. It's usually more than double the cost of a single unit for some reason,
All
and
right.
I don't know. I don't know why.
Well, it really the only big change you have to make to your grow space when the warm weather comes is you have to figure out a solution to cool it. You do. You do. I mean, and I am as you know, 90 is my threshold for panic, but like really it's high 80s. If I see anything plus above 86, that's when I get into action.
Oh, yeah. I
You
hit
know.
84, 85, and I'm
Yeah.
freaking out.
You really shouldn't. 84, 85 is money.
84
Do
is
not
cool.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. 84 is
It's very unusual. Okay, so my tent is in my basement, and my house is air conditioned. I have central air conditioning. So my basement is cool all the time. If my tent is hitting 85, something is wrong. It's just too high. My tent never gets that
You
high.
know what though? The plants seem to like a warm day every once in a while. I will say
I
they
can see that.
they
I
they
definitely
get a
hit
lot
like
of work done.
82, 83, but not 85.
So it's funny. Like, what do you think your surface leaf temperature is? If your tent temperature is 84 in an LED lit tent,
82? I don't know, 80?
I'd say even 80 or 79. Like you're probably right in that range. Like it's leaf offset temperature is usually about 3-4 degrees Fahrenheit. So
Yeah,
if
I
you're
can
at
see that.
84, you're right around 80, 81. Just saying, it's cool. It's if you get above
I just never,
85,
it's
then
not like I'm freaked out for the plant's sake. Like, I know that the plants can handle that. It's that my tents never run that warm.
gotcha. Well, if you can handle it, I guess it's fair to say your plants can for at least a day.
Yeah.
It's a general rule of thumb too.
I mean,
But
they're not
yeah,
going to, like, really, what could a day of too much temperature do? Unless you're cooking them. It's not that big of a deal. Just
And
same reason if it drops too low for a day. Okay.
that's what 90 degrees will do if you keep it there for too long. So yeah, guys, figure out an AC solution. Like, for most of us, we're using window units. We're cooling our lung rooms, not like trying to mount an AC unit in a tent. Though I have seen people
Might actually
try to
see
do that. It just like, why? Why would you do that? Like, we control the air of our lung room to bring it into the tent using the parameters on your exhaust fan that you probably fucked up. But that's how we intake that air. And Monster, we can't hear you.
Oops. I will say the wall unit in the grow tent's not the worst idea if you're near a window and you can position it correctly, which
Yeah.
I've done and seen people do. Yeah, fucking cut a hole right in that tent, stick that air conditioner in right in the window, just like you normally would, and you can tape it up with foil tape, make it actually look pretty nice.
What if it's like backed? If your tent's like backed up against a window?
Yeah, it's got to be in the right spot. Like you can't just,
Gotcha.
it's not
You
going to
lose
work
your
out for everybody.
window.
Interesting.
Well, you lose the window anyway with the air conditioner.
I mean, the air just takes up the bottom bit of it.
So
Worth it for the plants.
one thing I have tried is, and I do use I use a portable air conditioner unit in my dry tent for like the warm months. It works fairly well. I don't think, unless you get like one of those super expensive dual hose units of a portable air conditioner unit, it's not a great solution for a grow. But for a single tent, maybe if you just were to pump the air from one of those into your tent, quite literally, interesting solution. You could even like link that up to your AC Infinity like controller 69 and set up a probe, run that
I
thing when it
find
needs
that
to.
when I immediately duct cold air, I get lots of problems with water.
That
Oh
makes
yeah,
sense.
it'll definitely drip.
Yeah, like all through the tubing. If you have the tubing like not put correctly, you're just gonna get pools of water. It's a pain in the butt. So yeah, water management with AC is kind of annoying, especially if you're direct ducting it.
Agreed. Figure out a solution for the drip if you're going to go that route. Because, yeah, I mean, again, best solution is to condition your lung room, not your tent directly. Though, for, in certain circumstances, it does work, you know? Just a thought. If that's all you got, use what you got, guys.
Do what you gotta do.
That's right. Do what you got to do. I mean, I've seen people use these swamp coolers with like just a cube of ice.
Oh man, growers are the most ingenious, amazing, brilliant people I've ever seen.
Ice, like
Such outside the box thinking.
coolers can work. Like an ice filled cooler with the right fan can definitely work. I mean, it's not sustainable. It's kind
Oh,
of
drop it a few degrees, right?
no, it'll work.
And
Yeah, like look,
how about dry ice?
sure that's
Yeah.
expensive and it's like not long term sustainable.
How
And if you
about
got,
liquid nitrogen?
again, same thing. I wouldn't fuck with that though. I'd be too
We can't
scared.
use the T1000 to cool our grow.
I'd
No,
be
no
What was that
touchy.
scene where he collided with like the tanker with the liquid nitrogen? Remember that one? All the frozen bits, and then he like coalesced. And have you seen this boy?
I got in an elevator once with somebody with liquid nitrogen tanks. I'm like, cool to know if this fucking thing breaks open, we're all dead. Sweet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe you should take the freight elevator, buddy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real, for real. So yeah, another thing I wanted to mention in the garden is I got this weird chicken foot pheno. I call it. I'm sure you guys have seen them. those three-fingered leaves, they tend to yellow more than the others. Is that just something I noticed too? Is that they definitely get on the yellow side. And they just shoot out these weird, almost like some of them are kind of deformed. Some of them are, they look totally fine, but they only have three fingers. Like this. I call them the chicken foot pheno.
Yeah.
Because they look like little chicken feet.
Is it a genetic thing? I always thought I just fucked up so badly that the plant was miserable and screaming.
No,
But
I
if
mean,
it's a genetic
I think
thing,
it's
that
an
makes me feel
auto
better.
trait.
no, it's not just auto trade because I've seen some stuff like that. Like one of the testers for Biff back in the day was, I think it was a Mandarin cookies crossed with the peanut butter breath. It threw off a lot of those. Like it just looked weird.
Yeah.
Didn't branch out much. Just
And
kind
that
of
had, you sure that had no auto lineage to it, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
all right.
Oh,
Because
okay.
so
yeah,
maybe it's
ruderalis leaves are, kind of have that
that's kind of
more
what
elongated 3 and then the shorter 2 on the sides of that. So I could see thinking, oh, maybe that comes from ruderalis, but
you'll see that
we're
on some
seeing it
re-veg
still in
leaves
thought,
too.
yeah.
photos too.
You'll see the weird
Interesting.
growth that looks similar to that when you re-veg too.
Interesting.
Well, yeah, it's so like what I've noticed about them is that they tend to be a little bit on like the outlier side in lots of categories, not just with like the way they're shooting out like the morphology of their leaves. Like we're talking about like they tend to be on the high yielding side as well, which might have a little to do with their yellowing tendencies because their demand for food tends to be pretty high. They are very leafy. If they shoot out like one chicken foot, there's going to be like 1,000 chicken foots on the damn plant. Like so I don't know, just observations. They tend to move a little slower too. Just as they progress, they flower a little later. They might yield you more in the end, but you'll probably have to push them harder and for longer. If the end product is the same, like great, like I welcome the chicken foot pheno. We'll see, like
Do
all.
ya?
I mean, so it's not my favorite plant to look at. I'll be honest.
Right.
Like, I think it's like.
But it's
I
not
don't
like
know.
it's not like a sign of certain doom either. It's
No,
just like,
no,
oh,
no.
okay, we're doing this now.
Sometimes they just be like that. I truly believe it's a genetic thing, whether it's from ruderalis or not. Like you did nothing wrong as a grower. Just don't write them off immediately because they're throwing these weird leaves and they kind of look ugly. That ugly, we'll call them the ugly duck foot pheno. Like, ugly duckling foot pheno. Because they're like, they don't look as pretty as the others. They're yellow and they have three-fingered leaves. Like the others get these beautiful shades of purple and red and like, 9, 11-fingered fan leaves, like dinner plates, Not these little duck feet. But like
So disappointing.
smells
But
are on
these-
point. Like as far as I can tell, the terps are there. The yield's gonna be like probably increased, and like, yeah, you just got to deal with not the most aesthetic plant in your garden for a little bit.
What strain is this?
So it's one of those Alabrijes, unreleased strain, not one he like put a lot of work on. There was no guarantee of its being anything. It was
I
that
still think you grab the pitchforks.
Star Crunch crossed with Dog Walk.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah.
And
Been
like,
by quite a few.
yeah.
people. I wonder if anybody else ran into that same pheno or whatever, because That's been, I know quite a few people that have run that one.
And I ran 2 of them, G3, and the one right next to her is beautiful. Beautiful. Like, I just harvested her.
Interesting.
Big purple buds, like, already harvested, done deal. Like, but the phenotypes were completely different. Like, the exact total opposite of each other. It's actually quite crazy, if I, like, but that's what you sign up for when you grow like a tester strain. It's like some of them can be one
You
thing,
have
some
no
might be
idea.
another. Yeah, you
You
just
have no idea what you're getting into.
yeah, and then you might get an outlier thrown into the mix, like the old ugly duckling foot. So, just
As the old heads would say, does it get you high?
You
ultimately
should
that's
turn into a swan in the jar.
Yeah.
I hope so, man. Fingers crossed. So we're getting a little. Do you hear that buzz coming from? Is that Monster? It just started happening. I don't know. Yep. Oh. Yep.
Just turned off his
It
mic
just turned
for you.
off, but now he just turned his audio off.
Is it back?
Whatever. Yeah, a little bit. We can
Yeah.
deal with it, man. We're already an hour in. Can you fucking believe that?
Holy cow, where'd the time
Fucking
go?
believe that?
Crazy night.
So what we were talking about, like the temperature offset in your tent. Mm-hmm. What did I just see? A new product.
Oh boy.
Amazing new product from actually, and I don't know. It seems cool. I will say this: they're always doing research. They are trying to come out with some really cool grow tools. Whether or not, and give me another sec. I brought it up on the wrong browser. I apologize. Whether or not they're going to be useful for you is another discussion entirely.
And at the right price point.
Yes, indeed. All right, so check this out.
Yes. I saw this.
The brand new
And I-
AC Infinity VPD thermometer.
I don't know what to think about it.
Very precise, right? You want to get, like, if you want to see what that leaf surface offset temperature is, this is what you're going to need to do it.
Yeah,
Or if it
it's like
breaks,
a
you could probably use
super
it to like
fancy
remotely.
temperature gun.
You can point it at your wife.
Honey, your BPD is way out of whack.
I'm going to need to humidify you. Got to get you a little more moist. But I don't know if it works like that, but shoot, add
So
that
it's just a
functionality.
temperature gun that it measures temperature and humidity, and then it does the math and gives you VPD.
Exactly.
Is
Pretty
that what
cool.
it'll calculate the VPD like? So it does like
I
what?
would guess so. It's just a
No,
calculation.
that's
it's
what
just a
that's what makes the most
formula,
sense. Yep, that's what makes the most sense.
It'll intake a little bit of air, get a reading of humidity, and shoot like what a laser or something. I don't
How
know.
much is this contraption?
Dude?
Yeah, like
I don't know.
A temperature gun uses like a laser.
Good question. I don't even think it's on for sale yet. They just posted like a giveaway about it 8 hours ago.
They're gonna give a few of them away, make sure they don't burn anything down, and then
You're gonna be the guinea
some
pig
beta
to
testing.
make sure
Yeah.
it doesn't explode in your hand. But this is, I mean, honestly, it's like, what are you going to do? Stand there and like get a scientific reading to tell you exactly how far off your AC Infinity probe is in the tent? Like, well, oh shit, my probe is about 5 degrees off. Like, that's good to know.
oh,
That is
all
good to
right.
know. 'Cause what is
$30.
the lifespan of the probes? Yeah, they're $30, so that's not too bad.
That's
$30. Shit, I'm getting one.
that's pretty reasonable.
I don't care
that's
what
a
I do
pretty
with it.
good. Wow.
Really? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
just
don't
look it
even
up.
believe you.
It's
Yeah,
on
just
the
look
AC
it up.
Infinity site.
Hell yeah.
Use
That's
code
reasonable.
cultivation.
Yo,
Like a good
that's-
quality
that's
temp gun is gonna cost you the same. Like a decent quality temp gun is gonna run you $30. $40.
Can you tell the temperature of your kids who have a cold with this thing?
Sure, as long as you don't shine the laser in their eyes and blind them.
Or what if you do? Hear me out.
I didn't.
And
So
it
I.
saves the data from your previous readings to track shifting climate conditions.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Does it? Can I like get those readings in my app and see a graph?
I bet you could.
Can I
I
hook
don't
this
know.
up?
For $30, you're
don't
asking a
know.
lot.
Let's see.
Can I hook this up to my controller 69 and use one of
Wouldn't
my
that be
8
cool?
ports in some way? No, honestly, this is like I make fun, but I love that like they're continuously putting out shit that's just like, growers might need this. Growers could use this,
I think it's a
They-
decent
and for
product.
the right price.
Yeah, we
Shoot.
They
talk shit.
actually say that it can be used to help calibrate VPD enabled Spark controllers. So they say that you can use this to help calibrate your probes
No shit.
for your controllers. Yeah.
So I didn't know that you could actually
It has
program in like offset leaf surface temperature within
This
your
meter can
probe.
also aid in calibrating VPD enabled smart controllers offset for more precise leaf VPD readings.
I wonder if you can hook this up to your.
I don't think you can
Controller
hook your
60.
thing.
No, I
I
just
think
looked
you
it
can
up.
just use it
There
to
is-
change.
There's no connection to the
Why
controller.
wouldn't you be able to? Why not? If you're using
it's
if
a
you're using it as a
handheld
more
device.
precise way to measure what's going on in your tent currently,
Well, you just gotta
and
wait
it's
for the
plugged
Pro
into
version to come out for $99.99, and then you'll be able to.
But if it's plugged into your exhaust fan and you have your parameters set correctly, then it will trigger an exhaust to take place. Like fresh air comes in.
Well, I think mostly they're saying that you can use this to figure out your precise leaf temperature instead of your ambient temperature so that you can set in an offset so that your VPD is measuring what your leaf temperature should be.
All right.
Exactly. Grateful nerd. Grateful nerd.
Grateful-
I'm a little stoned.
Whoop.
Just
Sorry.
we both tried to post
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that makes sense on how it worked. Like, because I just glanced on the website and mentioned zero.
Yeah, that's cool,
connectivity.
man. Actually,
Yeah.
dude, I love it.
It's kind of
love
multifunctional. So
I'm gonna be
for
pointing it
$30,
at
I think
so
it's
much
pretty
shit.
darn good.
Yeah, I think for $30, it's definitely worth looking into. It's not. If it was $100, I would kind of push back against it. But for $30, I mean, people spend more
Hey,
than that
man.
on coffee.
Listen, I thought it was going to be in the $100 range. I mean, that's but
And you don't just have to use it there; that you can use that all over your house too. Use it to see
Absolutely.
if your plugs are warm. You know?
yeah, right.
Check
Yeah,
to see how warm
check
it
your
is in a room.
circuits. Great idea.
Yeah.
Great idea, G3.
Yeah, a regular decent infrared heat gun is going to cost you $30 to $40.
Great idea. So yeah, and just real quick because it's up on their screen, I'll bring it up. Whoop! It didn't change over on our side. Hold on. One of the best things I've done recently has been purchasing. Oh my god! I did it again. Whatever. I don't need to show you to tell you what it is. It's those refillable carbon filters.
Yeah, you were mentioning
Yeah.
some.
How'd the
Love them,
refill
love them,
go?
love them, love them. The refill went fantastic, as easy as it can be. Like you literally just open the thing up. The design of the thing is like A plus. Whoever looked at a carbon filter and was like, how can we easily have them empty the carbon, then refill it? Everything was thought of. They included even like a metal trowel, like a little shovel, to like dig in the carbon with. Like beautiful, man. Like
Doesn't make a total mess everywhere.
no. It was actually, aside from a little dust, okay, little
Yeah,
dust,
you're going to get that anyway.
clean, and like I didn't get any mess anywhere because they give you like a funnel and a trowel and like all the tools to get this job done in a clean and
Okay.
household friendly manner. Like
Now, I wonder if there's any uses for the old carbon. I hear that I've never
I
done
wonder.
it. I hear you can rebake it and reactivate it and use it again.
why not just put it in, like, mix it up with soil? Like, do you think it would act as like what's that one, like biochar, in a way? Like, just add surface area for microbes to attach themselves to and colonize.
Yeah, I did. That did cross my mind. I don't think it could necessarily hurt.
Hmm.
Fuck around and find out.
Yeah, right. Here we
Yeah.
got it. We got someone in the chat. He says, put it in your cat box. Wait, no, they're talking about the temp gun with that
Oh yeah, with the
because it'll have a
laser.
little laser on it. You know what? A quick aside. I am anti laser guns for your cats, people, like laser toys. That's a cruel toy. It is fun, and cats do go insane for that. But, like, it's a mind trick, man. They can never catch
Yeah,
it.
but
Yeah,
cats are
that's the
such
thing.
cunts that like they deserve
They
it.
can, it can be. Some of them
Oh
can
my
be.
Yeah.
god.
No, like I
Just
love my cat, but like the cat only loves me when it wants to. Like,
listen. I'm just saying. If you're a cat owner, you want the best for your cats. Get them physical toys that,
Well, they
like, they
say if
can
you
play
have
with.
a laser, if you're playing with a laser, you need to have something that they can physically catch at the end of the game. So
Okay.
every once in a while, you get them something that they can catch,
And you give them
with
something they
catnip
can
or
catch.
something in it, right? But there should be a physical element as well. They should eventually sometimes win.
All right, yeah,
Otherwise,
because
nobody
that's
wants
it's
to
just
play a game you
cruel,
can never
man.
win.
Yeah, they're just like they eventually stop. I mean, if all
yeah.
you do is play with lasers, your
Have you
cat's
ever
not
heard
gonna play
of
with
Have
it.
you ever heard a cat pant? You can do it with a laser.
Oh yeah, they get
Yeah.
worked up because
Oh
they
man, they
can't
get fired
sweat,
up.
like a
Yeah.
dog. So
Yeah, they get fired up.
if your cat's panting, stop it with the damn
Yes,
laser
Oh,
stop it.
already.
100%. 100%.
A
Yeah.
cat panting is not a good
See,
thing.
Especially in summertime, man.
my
It's just
cat bullies my dog, so I don't mind fucking around with her now and then.
well, we love cats. Mine, not in the garden, I will say, but
Not
everywhere
in the
else.
garden. Oh, I've lost so many
Oh,
cats to
real
Everywhere
these
quick,
else.
before we
shitheads.
go, somebody had brought up, and they were asking about, speaking of cats, right? And we don't want them in the garden. I think a lot of people need to take advantage of filtering the air that comes into their tent. A lot of times they'll just open up the flaps, get the air that way. I strongly suggest you close it, get yourself a extra piece of ductwork, and stick one of those circular HEPA filters in there, and get the air that
Man,
way.
it'll it'll filter out a lot of pet hair.
Yeah. And listen,
Hmm.
I'm all about going cheap and saving money. If you want to DIY, you could even just throw extra piece of duct work on there with a fucking pantyhose.
Hmm.
It'll work. Uh, but I'm a kind of a big fan of squeezing in a HEPA filter anywhere
Mm-hmm.
you can.
Smart
It's
idea, man. And
it's
you
only
know
going to
what?
help.
That also kind of triggers my, like, I just want to remind people too. This time of year, if you go out to Lowe's, Home Depot, any garden center, guys, and you buy, if you walk around the damn garden center, like, please do yourselves a favor, change your clothes, take your shoes off, maybe even take a
Shower.
shower before you go up in or down into your own garden, because God knows what you're tracking in. Like,
Yeah.
truly,
If
truly,
you've been
that is.
outside or touching other plants before you open that tent, stop. Don't do it. You're going to give yourself aphids or
Yeah,
thrips or spider mites or something
it's
horrible, and then you're going to be cursing your life. So just
Yeah.
don't do it.
Same thing with your
don't
outdoor
do it.
garden. Like I'm talking about having veggies and stuff. Listen, I love pepper plants. I plan on having a ton of them. They're fucking aphid magnets.
Yeah.
So be careful going into your home garden, after you've been outside.
Amen. I find that pants, and if you're wearing pants for sure, but, like, your shoes are one thing. Like, first of all, I don't wear shoes in my fucking house. I take them off. But, like, some of you savages might be clomping around your house in your Skechers that you wore all day. Like, just think about it. Take them off. Save your garden. Save the hassle.
Naked gardening. That's cool.
And get in that habit. Absolutely. especially this time of year. It's just, man, another avenue for infestation is just, it's right there. Just some people don't think about that. So just keep your head on a swivel. Keep the bugs out.
Yep. Keep those perimeters strong.
The defenses must be raised. Do we have any more Patreons? Any new people? Let's see.
Yep. We have a couple new members. We have
Nice.
Opie.
Oh, thank
Thanks,
you.
Opie.
Thank you very much, Opie. And then we have a new old Patreon subscriber. Welcome back, PB Grows.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
baby.
Welcome back. You know what?
Thank
It's
you
like,
guys so much.
absolutely. Thank you. And we have a Patreon, by the way. If you're a generous person, you want to help the show, that's the way to do it. And yeah, sometimes like we get it. Like you have to cancel for whatever reason. It's all good. It's all good. No explanation needed. If you come back, you come back. We welcome you. But you're always welcome, whether you're a member or not, to join our Discord. We actually insist that you do. If you're listening to this right now, if you hear my voice and you're not there, report
We'd
for
like you to
duty.
fix that,
Please
please.
report for duty. You are wanted on board the ship. So, yeah, links posted in the chat right now. If you don't see that, you're listening to an audio version, hit any one of us up and we will help you.
Website or
Yeah.
Yeah, the website will bring you right there. Just click Discord. You can't even fuck that up. You just click it. It brings you right there.
Cool, guys. And yeah, we appreciate you all listening. The ones who joined us live, we love you the most. I'm not gonna lie.
we
So
do. We love
join
you.
us live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. If you've never watched a live show,
Eastern
you
Standard
gotta
Time.
do it. Yeah, Eastern. I forgot that part.
The real time zone.
Only one that we base everything on, right? But so yeah, guys, thank you all, and until next time.
Keep
Don't
in
get
touch
caught.
with yourself.